Welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Ball XenoVerse.
XenoVerse.
Today we are joined by...
Well, I'm always here.
Well,
This is
yeah,
my
I guess
character.
technically you're always here. We're joined by your character who's going to be playing for us today, because having completed the available parallel quests, we're ready to tackle the next bit of the main story. Now, typically, at this point, you'd run and talk to Trunks, who is standing where he was standing before, over near all the rubble over there. But, what we're doing today, because I'm starting from a brand new, fresh save, Ogre is not, technically. He's made a second character he's going to be playing as on his main account. What that means, though, is that all of the main story has already been unlocked.
They never get stairs right for 3D characters.
Yeah, it's really just a ramp with a texture. Or it's stuttery and weird.
Better not fall backwards.
Ah! Alright, let's get going. So if you go into the time vault here, though, you can replay previous... If you want to go down to the Return of the Saiyans. But if you go into the time vault here, you can replay already completed missions. And we're going to... The Saiyan saga is what we played before, where we fought Raditz. And normally at this point, we'd talk to Trunks, who would send us off on the Return of the Saiyans saga. Now, if you take a look at the right, there's actually a bit of story describing not only what happened here, and what is going to happen here, but what led up to this. If you recall, after we killed Raditz, Goku died at the same time as Raditz.
Well, not the same time, but
effectively,
close enough.
Yeah. Effectively the same time. Because Goku was a very upstanding, righteous individual in life, he was granted the use of his physical body in the afterlife. So he went off to train with King Kai.
He didn't die, he was just sent to another dimension.
Yes. But, so, he went off to train with King Kai. Piccolo, who managed to survive the onslaught of Raditz, took Gohan, who showed an unnatural power.
Well, let's took more kidnapped. But...
Yeah. But Gohan being Goku's son, very young kid, took Gohan and, having showed an unnatural power, and took him off to train him. He effectively kidnapped Gohan and said, "We need your power." And Chi-Chi was very broken up about it.
Well, duh, her only son at that point had been kidnapped.
Yeah.
And her husband was dead.
Yeah.
Priorities, people.
So she was very easygoing about the whole Goku being dead thing, all things considered.
She really was. I don't think she took it well, but she was also upset that Goku gotten her son kidnapped twice, technically, because Raditz stole him and then Piccolo stole him, and being dead couldn't really stop him from it. Who was going to stop Piccolo? Goku was the only one who could stop Piccolo. Even after all their training, nobody was stronger than Piccolo than Goku out of all of them.
Okay, so, Piccolo took Gohan off, and the two of them trained.
The rest of the Z-Warriors went up to Kama used to train as best they could.
Because Raditz, as we mentioned before, just before he died, he said there are two other Saiyans who are now on their way to Earth, which them being Vegeta and Nappa.
I never heard of them. I don't think they show up ever again.
Yeah, I'm sure this is it for them. But, so when Vegeta and Nappa finally arrive, everybody shows up except for Goku.
Because he's running from the afterlife.
Yeah, as it turns out, he's actually got a long way to travel to get through the afterlife to get back there to help them. But, yeah, everybody else shows up. And the neat thing about it all is, though everyone else kind of trained and built themselves up, Gohan was effectively raised by Piccolo for a year. And Piccolo
they
really...
became best buddies.
Yeah, Piccolo really softened up to Gohan as well.
When we go in here...
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Infestation. Saibamen Scourge.
So, before the two Saiyans actually So Piccolo was originally a villain in Dragon Ball. That's a good thing to mention.
Aren't we enemies? Nobody watched Dragon Ball.
So that was that, though, but in his time raising Gohan, Piccolo was really softened up, and he's still pretty rough around the edges come this whole scene, but, like, he's not just, like, straight up evil anymore.
Yeah. I like my ranking here. It's got Zazz.
Zazz.
Alright, we ready?
The start of the fight here is the Z-Warriors have all lined up, Vegeta and Nappa are there, and they decided it's not worth our time to fight them directly. So they grew a bunch of Saibamen they gotta fight off. And in we go.
Damn!
And you just revived as well.
Right here, history is changing. I would really appreciate your help. Kamehameha!
Gotta help fight them Saibamen!
Infestation. Saibamen Scourge.
Now you see the win condition is defeat 20 enemies, and that's sort of ridiculous. If you recall in the original show, there were only like 4 or 5 Saibamen, like...
I think there were 6.
Okay, 6 Saibamen, so like...
Well, we're gonna have to fight.
Man, you are acrobatic as all crap. You dancing around.
I swear to God, I don't think the Mechians have a skeletal structure.
They probably don't.
Considering my hands are going whoop, whoop.
Go fight them if you really want.
Yeah, Namekians being the race Piccolo is, they're interesting. They're like almost more plants than anything. They can,
Kind
like,
of a plant slug mix.
yeah, like they can regrow limbs and that'll do it.
I blew him the fucks up. They're too small. Me and my great Namekian style.
Yeah, a lot of the supers and even the ultimates in this game are actually relatively hard to use because they have a very small range to them.
They're really creeping me out.
And the small range, like, or not small range, but like they're very small linear things that go, and it's super easy for enemies to just kind of take a step to the side.
Later.
Which is something that, like, they never did in the show. If you shot a laser at someone, they kind of stood there and took it.
You're really strong.
We still have to fight the Saiyans afterwards.
But I'm super. I run on cola. That's my favorite combo to do. Just launch the shit out of the enemy. And then just wham.
I have never seen a Namekian fight. This is a thing to behold.
Later. Oh, I launched him onto the ledge, too.
Is that your grab?
That's my grab. I just reach out and touch Faith. Uh-oh, new
Oh, there's a
Saibamen
lot
have
of them.
shown up.
There's a lot of them, and there's one Saibaman there that's...
Actually, there's two of them. Uh-oh, I heard explosions off in the distance.
Goku! Hurry up and get here!
We're down 3.
Now, they didn't show it, but
Saibamen with a double KO.
but Yamcha, Tien, and Chaozu all died fighting just the Saibamen. So, yeah, it wasn't a great thing, but yeah, they died. And we have
I'm
to make
left
sure.
all by my lonesome.
Yeah, and we have to make sure they stay dead. So,
Wherein not only do I have to deal with Saibamen, but now I have to deal with their upgraded versions, Jinko Man and Tenna Man, who are actually references to the old Dragon Ball Z RPGs that they had on the NES. Since they had multiple characters and everything. I think Nappa actually makes a reference to him here soon.
you are super stretchy when you fight. You're like more stretchy than the Majin. They're too short. He just stood there.
Boom! How does that shit feel? Did it feel great? Did it feel evil? 'Cause it feels evil!
That'll do it.
And it's an explosion, too. Very apt name.
Oh, another thing to mention is that you build your character very differently from mine.
Mine's gonna be more tankish, with some key specialty, but I'm definitely gonna have more stamina and more ki, and more health.
What's this color? I thought Saibamen were green.
Well, for the most part, they are.
Hey now.
Kennen Men and Jinko Men are in the mix now. Good. Let's see how well they do.
They don't do well. They don't do well.
Fight it all.
There's a lot of these guys.
Dang it.
I never use my evasion specials. It always feels like a waste.
Bruh. Some of them are pretty good. There are some that give you like stat boosts that you can use.
Yeah, I feel like if I did anything, I'd probably use those. And then, like, use it while I'm safe or something.
They might prove to be fun, just like I thought.
I guess my major issue with them is if I have to resort to using one of those, I'm usually getting ganged up on to such an extent that I'm not going to have any other stamina after I'm done, and they're still going to keep attacking me. Yep. Hit a hole
I hit a bunch of other ones.
off in the distance somewhere. Yeah.
Just gonna stand over his corpse. If I could float down and teabag him, I would.
You are quite something! OMG!
Yes, he just said that to you.
More on that later.
Yes, very much. Arrival of the Saiyan warriors. And this time, Nappa gets into the mix.
With Piccolo's help, the Saibamen have all been defeated. The Saibamen were said to be as powerful as Raditz was.
Though, considering their power boost, I'm assuming they're probably a lot more powerful than what Raditz was when he got his power boost, but just to kind of put you on the scale of what you are.
Yeah, and how much you've grown over the time. And Piccolo, of course, being the one who actually fought Raditz, it shows how much he's grown, that now he can down a bunch of Raditzes like that.
Yeah. Also, notice that lose conditions. If Gohan or Krillin go down during this, you lose automatically, so try to make sure Nappa doesn't like you the most. Uh-oh, I think he likes us too much.
So yeah, with Piccolo's help, the Saibamen are down, and now it's just... Now Nappa himself has stepped in.
Keep your guard up.
Oh, at least he didn't hit me with the pillar on the ground.
Oh, it's weird because for the longest time they actually thought Nappa was the more powerful of the two Saiyans.
So history will
Hey, I was gonna do that.
Just because he's the bigger, the more powerful looking one.
Well, if I've learned one thing from Toriyama, it's this, is that he loves making characters that look like they would be the most powerful actually be the weakest, and that the ones that look like the weakest will be the most powerful. I mean, you have to just look through all the characters.
Well, that's it for Piccolo.
All of his organs.
Gohan.
So yes, Piccolo does actually
Change my
die there.
whatever. It's all the same.
But he dies there he dies there protecting Gohan, because despite that they trained with Gohan so much, Gohan was never.
Krillin and Gohan.
He was scared. He was
Yeah,
5.
he was terrified.
He was like almost 6 by the time this part had happened.
So like Nappa turns and actually attacks him outright, and like a deer in the headlights, he just stood there. And so Piccolo sacrificed himself to protect Gohan. And if that says anything about how much Piccolo has grown from the time when he was the evil person who just wanted to take over the planet.
He was more or less doing what his father / previous incarnation wanted him to do. Ooh, he threw the shit out of Gohan there.
Krillin, just stay back. I'll take it from here. They're okay. Come on, let's go.
Dad?
Nappa is having trouble. I will deal with Kakarot.
Even redoing that pose from when they first started fighting in Z.
Don't
Sadly, we miss out on the brief time when Goku showed up and just stomped Nappa.
You also missed out on your favoriteest joke ever.
I know. I'm so sad. And I'm so sad they changed that in the redub, too.
And Kai, yeah.
Like, the best line was when Goku first showed up, he was showing up just as Nappa was about to kill Gohan. And he was about to kill him because Gohan was laying on the ground, unable to move, and Nappa stood over him.
Krillin couldn't do shit either.
Yeah, Krillin couldn't do anything. And Nappa stood over him, about to just step on him and squash him, and Nappa said, "I'll always have a soft spot in the bottom of my boot for you." And that's the best line ever. I'm gonna be honest, I'm even sad that Dragon Ball Z Abridged didn't keep that line, because it's the best line. But Goku showed up and saved Gohan and Krillin, got them some Senzu beans, got them... Oh! Holy, I've never seen him do an ultimate.
That was his ultimate break cannon.
we can win.
What is it? Break cannon. I was just biding my time, letting you get your thing out before I kick him to
Okay.
death.
Damn it.
And that's it. Nappa's dead forever. I've killed Nappa. You had so much redeeming value over that other guy that we don't never see again in the series. What is it, Vegeta?
Followed by that evil
Something like that.
Vegeta is powered up too.
But yeah, sadly we missed Goku just absolutely stomping Nappa, but by this point Nappa's been weakened enough that you finished him off instead, and now you get to join Goku fighting Vegeta. Now, one of the most important things that, or there's two things that Goku really learned from King Kai, on top of just becoming way more powerful. One of which is coming up here soon, the Kaioken. The Kaioken makes you a lot more powerful, but it drains your reserves while you're using it. The mechanic in this game is draining your stamina the more it's active.
Thankfully, Vegeta's not that short this time around.
Yeah. And you can use, there are even multiples of the Kaioken. Kaioken times 2, Kaioken times 3, all, like, continuing to go up. But the more powerful Kaiokens put a bigger and bigger strain on you.
You'll pay for this! Ah!